'Cause I am searching, don't need to look outside myself to know that I am whole. And I've been learning, made it through the darkest storms, and I'm coming to my own. And I am worthy of love. I can learn to love myself just because. JK lol, we were on mute. Welcome everybody. Happy Monday and welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Emma G and Dinah. As you can see, I'm in my home studio today and Dinah is joining me from her home studio today because you're sick. What?
Yes. I'm not feeling well, and so I just want to spare you, but this is kind of for par coming to the end of the season. But
This is true.
how are you? How's everything going? I'm so excited for today's chat.
I'm so excited for today's chat. I haven't actually caught up with on a proper level with this woman for I'm actually embarrassed to say it's been far too long. But I've known this woman for years because she wrote a book with my mentor, Dr. Angela Kingdon, years and years and years ago, back when I was their resident musician and, wrote the theme song for the Author Incubator back then. And that's how I met this wonderful human that we're about to talk to. So I'm good. I'm excited. I'm pumped. And it's the year of the fire horse. So let's go.
Oh my God. We need to do a show about the year of the fire horse because it is incredible.
Well, I'm excited. I just got a new car. I don't know if I told you, but it is red. And so I think that's her name. It's going to be Fire Horse. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And our guest, of course, is a firecracker. Michelle Jacoby. She is and I'm talking about the creme de la creme dating coach in the DC area. How are you, Michelle? Welcome, and welcome.
I'm so excited to catch up with you and to also spend time with both of you. This is awesome.
Yes. Energy recognizes energy. Like Dinah and I have been.
I liked your song, by the way. The intro was lovely. I was dancing while you couldn't see me.
That's exactly what we want. Always having dance. In fact, actually, on that note, I decided yesterday. I know I'm 2.5 months late, but I finally set myself a New Year resolution. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm starting every day with a me dance party in my kitchen. Every day. That's my resolution. Every day.
What kind of party?
A me dance party because my husband won't
dance.
Me
dance party. I love that.
Just you.
Just me. And my cat looking at me like I'm crazy.
A good way to get the day started.
So I'm glad that the song inspired you to dance, and I'm so happy that you're here. For those who don't know you, Michelle, and I think your name kind of, I don't know, people hear your name and they just know you. But for those who, for whatever reason, don't, can you give people a bit of a taste as to who Michelle Jacoby is, what you're about, and why you do what you do?
Of course I will. Thank you. My name is Michelle Jacoby. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I am a matchmaker and a dating coach. I run a small boutique matchmaking company here in the DMV and have for 17 years. And I also have a coaching program for women. And I also run a big trade association for matchmakers with over, more than 300 matchmakers worldwide. So I'm very involved in the industry as a whole. And I do what I do because I'm a people person. I'm a compulsive connector. I love being helpful and being of service. And love is everything.
Yes. Love that.
Yeah. I love that. Love is everything.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah, totally. I'm curious, what brought you down this path? What was your personal journey so that you can
I get asked this all the time.
Yeah.
I love this question because I wasn't like a kid and said, when I grow up, I want to be a matchmaker.
Yeah.
No, I was single in my early 40s after a divorce, and I was dating And my parents were so sweet. They suggested I hire a matchmaker. I was actually having fun dating, but they really were, they were concerned. They wanted me to meet a nice man. And so I spoke to several people I knew who had used matchmaking services in the DC area back in 2008. And unfortunately, no one had had a good experience. And so I Googled matchmaking as a career. And there was a USA Today article that actually made it sound like something I really enjoy. And so I went back to my folks and I said, hey, I'm not going to hire a matchmaker. I'm going to be one. At that time, my best friend was engaged to someone I had introduced her to. And I took on my first client. I made a website with a buddy. I had a client within like 2 weeks. And her third introduction was the one. And it just took off from there. And I've never looked back. It's been 17 years of making love every day.
I love that.
I love saying that.
It's funny because I used to say, I was a street performer for 5.5 years here in DC, right? And people are like, but why in DC? Everyone's so angry and aggressive and sad. And I was like, I sold love for a living. Yeah. And people would always look at me like I meant something else. But so I love that. I love that you make love.
I make love every day. But I actually am a big DC. I'm a big fan of DC. I've been here my entire life. I love this town.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm going on 11 years this year. So I hear you. I see you. That's cool. Now, one of the things that I love about your energy and about just your ethos in life and how, in the capacity that I know you as, is that you're somebody that is really big on being unapologetic about your story when it came to finding your husband, and leading by example. But from an outsider's perspective, one of the things that most means to me is that when you lead by example, it's not just sharing your story, it's literally showing people and embodying the kind of energy that one may want to become in order to be their best selves, in order to live authentically, in order to, lead with love, and so that they can find their perfect match. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, I like when you said lead with love, because for me, kindness is everything.
Preach.
I think a big piece that's missing in dating today is kindness. And I try to inspire all of the people who I work with to understand that leading with kindness, is so important, and it gives you good dating juju, and then the universe rewards you. But I did share in my book my personal journey, which was very vulnerable. I know you've been there also. And actually the feedback that I get is that people really appreciate that, because they get to see the journey from struggle to, self-awareness and growth to success. And that's something that I don't think I would be as prepared to do the work that I do if I hadn't gone through the struggle. That's how we learn. And so, yeah, I'm trying to inspire my clients to lead with love, to focus on what really matters, to leave their egos out of it, and really be heart-centered in their search. And then to be kind and to see what I call the gooey center. Like, everyone has a gooey center, but a lot of people are masking their gooey center because they have walls up, because they've been hurt, or because they're afraid. And so one of the things that I teach my clients is how to make someone feel incredibly comfortable on a date so that they can open up, and how to make someone feel liked and appreciated and heard and seen. And so I feel like this platform where I'm teaching people how to date is really a way of giving back and showing people how to love each other. And also, not only that, but how to love themselves, how to be good advocates for themselves, how to hold strong boundaries and really only let the right people into their world. So it's a very satisfying career. I've really enjoyed it so far for the last 17 years now. The time just flies by. Like, how does that happen?
That's crazy. Yeah.
It really is.
So it sounds like I'm just particularly curious then about the coaching piece of it, and how you balance the authenticity, and as you spoke about that vulnerability, especially when someone feels like there's fear around getting hurt or rejected, so like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, so I think that fear really does hold us back, and authenticity takes courage. And I decided to be a coach in addition to a matchmaker because I feel like, for matchmaking is first date introductions, right? But coaching teaches you how to navigate all the ups and downs and ins and outs of complexity of dating in every stage of dating. So, in terms of fear, I've developed tools that I teach in my coaching program that really ensure that women can spot red flags. They advocate for themselves. They know exactly what to do when they see someone's response to bringing something up that isn't working. Like I'm not a gray person. I like black and white. So I've created tools that my clients can use. And if they actually use the tools and follow my instructions, they don't have to be afraid anymore, because there's literally no way you can end up in an unhealthy relationship if you listen to your matchmaker and your dating coach. Yeah, I mean, so many of us have been in relationships that haven't served us. And I think that the most important thing, of course, is to build a life for yourself that is beautiful and full and rich, and then to invite someone into it. But you really have to have strong boundaries, and you really have to only invite the person into it who enhances your life. And that's not easy. It's not easy. And a lot of the skills that we use to be successful in our educations and our careers, they don't really translate to dating. It's not intuitive. So I felt really honored to be teaching people how to navigate this in a way that invites the right people into your life, so you don't waste time and you don't have to be vulnerable to heartache again, into drama again. Like this time I want you to get it right,
Yeah. I'm really intrigued that you talk about the dating world as being black and white.
No, it's not black and white. The way I teach and coach is black and white, because I want it to be easy to follow, easy to understand. Like for online dating, for example, I'm a matchmaker who believes online dating is actually a great tool if used correctly. I literally give my clients rules for online dating and scripts, because it's black and white. I want people to follow directions so that it's not hard.
I know that it works, because as I was saying to Dinah before we went live, you helped one of my best friends find the love of her life through, she's never met you before. She's only read your book, and she fangirled hard when I told her, oh, Michelle Jacoby, I know, I've known her for years. But when it comes to like those black and white, like this is the script, it's kind of like sales, right? Like there's a sales script that people often use. And my husband will often joke around about dating being like sales, because you have to kind of sell yourself. Yes, I married him. This is true. But I say that to mean like, how does one get in the right mindset for that script? How does one?
Yeah. So when I'm not a big believer in the sales script. I really believe you have to be present and really listen to people and meet them where they are and care about them deeply, and offer them what they need. And sometimes that's not a sale, right?
Yeah.
But I do feel like, and the question is, tell me the question again, because I lost it.
How do they like? Because I agree. I don't think the dating is sales, although I think authenticity in every aspect of life is key.
I see your kitty cat just
my
came
cat's joining. She's like, love, I'm here for it. But the question is like, how does one who has previously maybe been overwhelmed with the dating world, with the apps, with the rejections, with the I have to appear this way, how does one get themselves in the right mindset to kind of figure out?
It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Mindset is so important. We do a lot of work around defining what our needs are versus our preferences. A lot of people are searching for things that have absolutely nothing to do with their future happiness. Like, I've never had anyone say to me, my husband is a wonderful husband because he's 6 feet tall. It's just not a thing, right? And so we spend some time thinking about, what are the patterns in your past, in my past? What are the needs that have not been met? A lot of women and men who I work with have never really had their needs met in a relationship, and it's important to have them. And, what are the boundaries that I'm going to hold? What are the behaviors that I will not accept from a partner? Those behaviors, those red flag behaviors, are the tip of the iceberg. All of the unresolved issues, the work that people need to do is invisible under the water. So how do we spot those red flags? But, when it comes to mindset, we start with this sort of reprogramming that people are wonderful, and that kindness matters, and that if we look for what's right instead of what's wrong, we're going to see a lot of beauty. And if we focus on what we really need and what will make us feel seen and heard and loved and safe in a relationship, as opposed to, how tall someone is, how much money they make, those kinds of things really don't ultimately make someone. There's a lot of wealthy guys and a lot of tall guys and a lot of young women and a lot of everybody who are not great partner material, right? And so we have to learn how to really spot someone who could show up, who has the capacity and the desire to show up as the most wonderful partner. And by the way, since I'm going in that direction now, I do want to say that the most beautiful gift you can give yourself is a partner with high self-esteem, somebody who really feels good about him or herself. And I think that most of the issues that bring drama and, and difficulty and heartbreak into relationships all stem from one or both partners having low self-esteem. And we're all working on ourselves, but there are a lot of really lovely, beautiful human beings in the world who aren't in the right place to be your partner. And you've got to learn how to pass on them, even though they're great, even though they might look great on paper. You need to invest your time and your energy and your heart into someone who can show up, meet your needs, and really be the kind of partner that you deserve. And so we talk a lot about that. And I teach through telling stories of real people and real transformation, because when someone tells you something's going to work, that doesn't really hit, home. But when somebody shows you how it worked, how somebody started here and utilized a strategy or a skill or an approach and ended up here exactly where you would like to end up, it really shows you lots of aha moments. This can really be done differently. And I can, doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result. You got to change what you're doing to get a different result. Yeah. And I had to learn the hard way. I wish I had had a coach like me when I was, in the relationships that were difficult. So it's, when someone's gone through a divorce or they've lost a partner, I'm especially touched by the opportunity to help them, because they've worked hard to create peace in their world, to heal, right? And you don't want to invite the wrong person into your life who is going to tip the scale towards chaos or discontent. You've worked really hard to build this life. Now you want to invite the right person into your world to share it with,
That part.
Yeah, that part.
So you've been doing this for quite some time, 17 years. And
Just a little while.
just a little while. Do you have any really, I guess, stories that have stuck of connection that still inspire you? And what do you think made those particular situations or those matches work?
Well, thank you for putting me on the spot, but I always have stories. For instance, one of the things that someone asked me today, who's the most successful? Who finds love and who doesn't? And my answer was people who are open-minded and are open to the universe surprising them. So I had a client several years ago. She was a coaching client who was African-American and only wanted to date African-American men and did not want to date anyone with children. And we had a long talk about what she really needed and wanted, and she was willing to be open. She is now happily married to a ginger with a daughter who she calls her bonus daughter. And here she is married to someone a completely different demographic than who she was looking for. And she could not be happier, right? And so I love that it's really about the heart and the soul. It's not about the package somebody comes in. So that's one story that makes me happy. It's just that someone was willing to look inside a different box because their person wasn't in the box they had been searching in,
It's interesting to me because obviously there's 1,000,002 different dating shows out at the moment.
A lot of my friends are the ones who are on those shows. I know.
Oh, really?
I won't name them, but it's fun to watch them on TV.
Good. Well, there's one, I don't know if you're familiar with, there's a show, Pop the Balloon.
I have not seen Pop the Balloon.
Listen, don't. Save yourself. Save yourself. It is pure comedy in so many ways. But the reason I bring it up is because I feel like many of these shows, and listen, I'm no stranger to reality television. I was on X Factor. I know how hyper scripted it can be. But I feel like there's always this one rhetoric that's continually pushed where we need to find that six-figure man, or, somebody who, that's that 6 foot man, that there's like all these like specific, what's on your checklist? You need to fulfill this checklist type thing.
Yeah.
As somebody who is so successful in the dating industry, how do you kind of combat those idealisms?
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah.
Well, the first question I ask is, you've been chasing that forever. How's it working for you? Right? Like, you wanted crazy chemistry with someone. Well, that was probably the most traumatic relationship of your life, right? Or you were dating a guy who was 6'3" and really successful, but he lied and cheated. Or, I guess I'm speaking to you because you're women, but it goes both ways with men and women. We just have to talk about what really matters in partnership and what partnership is. And there are some people who will not be convinced that, a degree from an Ivy League university is the most important thing. I couldn't care less where you went to college. I care how you're going to love me and how you're going to show up. And so, also I'm careful about the clients I choose. If a client's not open to growth and to reconsidering some of their, ideas, they're probably not the right client for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but I mean,
best of luck to them.
if it's not working the way you're doing it, you have to rethink your approach, and you have to rethink who you're looking for, what you're looking for, how you're looking. Like they say, insanity really is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
And I know it's like the business that you're in is the business of the heart. That's something that we need to just like look at, right? It's not the outward exterior, it's the inside. And that's who you're going to be spending time with, right?
Well, someone asked me today about, she said this guy, I was talking to a guy named, he said he knows a woman in New York who's in my industry who's very burned out. And I said, well, look, there was a movie called The Materialist, which I thought was horrendous. There are aspects of dating and this industry that are very materialistic, very shallow, and very cruel. But all in all, the people who I know who are doing the good work, who really deeply care about their clients, I love my clients. Some of them have become my closest friends. I've been to weddings. I've met their children. Like, when you choose your clients carefully, people who are like-minded, who have a growth mindset, who really want to collaborate, like matchmaking is a collaboration. We're getting feedback, we're sharing it with you, you're sharing your feelings with us. For me, being authentically myself and only working with people I connect with, and refusing to take on, maybe someone offers a big fee for the, 60-year-old guy who wants to date the 30-year-old. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I want to help real people find real love. And, so there are aspects of this business that are not for me, but I run my business and my life and my world the way that feels, that feels right to me.
Which I think is something that so many people don't either have the confidence to do, or the courage to do, or just the know-how that it's possible to run an energetically fulfilled and fueled, career, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of insights that you would be able to share about what it means to lead with that kind of energy, and how does one show up with that kind of authentic, this is who I am?
I feel like getting the book. I'm reading Mel Robbins' book, Let Them Theory, right now. Like,
I love it. I love it.
Right next to me. If you want to lead and coach others, you have to do your own work first. And I'm working really hard right now in a personal way in focusing on the impact that I can make, the things I have control over, the good that I can do in the world, and sort of letting go of the things that I can't control. I don't know if this answers your question, but I'm like trying to lead with love, with patience, with kindness, every once in a while something comes up in business, somebody's frustrated or disappointed or they got their feelings hurt or whatever. I'm trying to be empathetic, but, I'm still running a business. I'm not a doormat. And so you have to find that balance in life, in dating. A lot of my coaching clients say that the skills that they learn in this program help them at work or with their families, holding those boundaries, right? And so there's a way that you can show up authentically, be super kind, right? And really lead with love and kindness, but also stand up for yourself. And choose the people you allow to be in your world and in your space. And then if somebody sneaks in there that's not a fit for you, you have to know how to, to end that relationship and focus on the people who bring light into your world. Does that answer your question? I hope so.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. It's like that do no harm, but take no crap.
Yeah. You asked me not to curse on your show. I'm not cursing.
I'm very impressed.
I mean, that's part of the creating boundaries for yourself too, right? And tolerating what it is that is important for you. Yeah.
You get to a certain age. I'm 60. You get to a certain age where you're like, I don't have time for any of the BS. Like, I just want to have people around me who I love. I want to do work that I love. I want to do what feels good. And, I just don't want to, I think when you get to a certain age, it's quality over quantity. And it's authenticity over, image. And I think that when you start dating from a place where you're being authentic, you meet just wonderful people. There's a major shift that happens.
Yeah.
And that shift also allows for someone to start moving past those hang-ups so that they can start to connect to other people.
What kind of hang-ups do you mean?
I don't know. It's like the mindset shifts, like you were talking about earlier. Being stuck in cycles, and it's very hard because the mind wants to stay in those cycles.
Yeah, but when you start doing things differently, and then you start seeing positive results, and you start seeing real change, then you believe that you can do things differently, right? And so sometimes in the beginning, I have to say to people, trust the process, trust the process. Please trust me. Try something new and different. But when you start seeing that it's working, then it's like mind blowing. It's like, wow, I'm going to do more of this. It's really working. Like I have people who came into my coaching program telling me that online dating is the worst, that there's nobody good on there, that they hate it. They don't ever want to touch it again. And then, 2 years later, I'm at their wedding and they met him on Hinge. That happens a lot. So transformation starts with believing that you can, and then being brave enough to try something that might be I always say the greatest things in life happen outside your comfort zone. Like, for instance, I think I shared with you, I don't love being on live broadcast, but here I am for you. Not my favorite thing in the world.
So much love.
Yeah, because you instead of my discomfort, I focus on the fact that somebody's going to watch this and it's going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to need to hear what I have to say today.
I want to, so I know I'm really conscious of the time, but I really need to answer. I need you to answer this question. You talk about comfort zones being kind of like the enemy of that, success or of that, of growth, of just happiness and fulfillment in general.
Because fear holds us back.
Absolutely. And I totally 100% agree with you. However, one of the things that I know to be true of my own experiences and some of the experiences of my friends is that when we break that cycle of the same, i.e. the bad decision making, the bad relationships, the toxic interactions we have with people, the minute we sort of find that safety and that health in a relationship, whether it's a friendship or romantic or otherwise, that's when some, kind of scary things can also happen. So it's like that comfort zone becomes even more uncomfortable because now you're having to
sometimes even good change is really difficult.
Right. So how do you help other people, help your clients to navigate that territory once they have found somebody that they can commit to?
That's a really good question, and I'm going to give a very specific answer. Like, one of the things we talk about is exclusivity and moving from we're dating to we're in a relationship. And most people just jump into that sometimes even without a conversation where we agree that we're in a relationship, because it shouldn't be understood, it should be spoken. But I coach my clients and couples to sit down and talk about, okay, we're in a new relationship. What are our expectations? What do you hope it's going to look like? What do I hope it's going to look like? Because going from single for many years to actually being in a relationship, a lot of people get very anxious, very claustrophobic. They don't know, like, am I allowed to plan my weekend without talking to you? So one of the things I teach my clients, because my clients do end up in relationships, is sit down together when you decide to be a couple and talk about, what do we want this to look like? Are you going to be my plus one? Do we plan weekends together? Are we going to be like, how much time are we going to spend together? Are we going to text every day? Like, open communication is a beautiful thing. And knowing what the other person's expectations are and discussing them is super helpful. And that's always up for renegotiation, but like clear communication so that you're not just guessing is, that helps a lot of people who are new in new relationships, which is a huge change. Enjoy it without anxiety.
I feel like I should have called you before I started dating a DJ, because when we first became we were I have a great relationship, but we did not have that conversation. I announced to the public via an article in the Washington Post that we were together. And I
Is
just
that news to him?
Maybe, I don't know. He framed it, so I hope he was okay with it. But
worked out in the
we
end.
never actually had the full conversation.
Well, I had a client who was dating somebody. They were traveling to Europe together, to California together. They were spending 3-4 nights a week together, and they were months in. And I asked her if they were exclusive, and she said, of course. And I said, well, have you had that conversation? And she said no. And I really pushed her, and it took her a month or two to get up the nerve. Which is kind of weird. Like, this is the person you're giving your body to, your time to, your heart to, and you can't have a conversation, but whatever. And when she finally did ask him, he was like, no, I'm dating and sleeping with other women. She was heartbroken. And so to anyone who's listening, like, when you think it's time to be in a relationship, don't assume. Sit down and say, we're going to take our profiles offline. We're going to focus on each other. And also, by the way, being in a relationship doesn't mean this is my person. This just means I want to focus on getting to know you without the distraction of other people. It's the only way to figure out if someone could be your person, and you can end it at any time. You can say, yeah, this isn't working for me. I want to be single again. But, these are the things that they're so simple, but some people just don't think of. And then they waste 3 months in a relationship with someone when they could have been out finding someone who's a better fit.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would benefit from Michelle's guidance.
Oh, thanks. Oh, look, there's me. Hi, I'm Matchmaker Michelle.
Yeah, go get her book. Go get her book.
Yeah, you can find my book on Amazon. It's called Never Waste Time on the Wrong Man Again. But if you want to read it for free, you can go to michellesbook.com, 2 L's, and that will, or go to michellejacoby.com, and that will put you on my list. But to be honest, I don't email very much. So just enjoy the book and learn what's in it. And if you ever need help, I'm here for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. And thank you to everybody who's watched tonight. We will be putting all those details in the description below. And of course, in the podcast descriptions and website stuff as well. So don't be a stranger, just be strange, and make sure that you are authentic about that strangeness as you go about your dating life. Michelle, super, super grateful for your time. I know that half an hour passes so quickly, but this is just a taster. We've got more. Just go to michellejacoby.com.
Yeah, how it is. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with your tribe. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And until next week, friends, be good, be kind, spread love like it's going out of fashion, and remember, lead with love.
Cause I am searching, don't need to look outside myself to know that I am whole. And I've been learning, made it through the darkest storms, and I'm coming to my own. And I am worthy of love. I can learn to love myself just because.